Tough talk, trying to steal the spotlight, or maybe something more to what Ronaldo said or didn't say there?
Well, can I just say that he's a very intelligent man. The fact that the first thing out of his mouth was to thank the fans and because they're always been on his side. That is all you need to hear there. He's essentially, I'm putting you on my side. You're going to now clamor that I come back. You're going to come back and say, look, Ronaldo, don't go anywhere. That feeling, it's put out there by Cristiano, and then the fans who are crazy for Cristiano, and rightfully so because of all the things he has achieved with Real Madrid and what he has meant for Real Madrid. But he's also saying, you're the only ones on my side. There's people in this club somewhere around here that perhaps don't want me here. You want me here, so make sure that you're hurt in the next few days. That's what I read between the lines there.
What do you make of it?
The cynic in me says, I'm going to try and get the spotlight back on me. That's the cynic in me. But I'd have to say, he did have the opportunity there to take it even further. And he didn't. He backed off and said the right things. And Ali's right. He's a smart guy. He said all the right things, but just left you dangling so that you're always thinking about Cristiano.
Well, some people at the board of Real Madrid, owners and whatever, may be looking at this and saying, wait a minute. Now they're thinking about it as well. Maybe this wasn't a point of discussion before. Now it's certainly a point of discussion. And so how do we take care of Cristiano Ronaldo? How do we put our arm around him? And oh, by the way, you also have to put your arm around Gareth Bale, the guy that did score the game winner for you in this match. And so there's a lot of players that you need to put your arms around. Picking and choosing, that's difficult.
Stevie, any chance both Bale and Ronaldo gone from Real Madrid next season?
No.
No way?
Well, you can't.
Who would you keep, by the way, Stevie?
I'll be honest with you. If I have a choice, I would keep Bale. I think...
Age?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, listen, quality, Ronaldo's fantastic. I mean, he has been arguably one of the best players that ever kicked a ball. You can't deny that. That's a fact. But the other fact is, he's getting old. And like all players that get old, they slow down. And again, we'll go back to this final. There was 3 occasions where he was taking players on. Van Dijk, Henderson, one-on-one. And my goodness, he couldn't get past them. He didn't have the legs to get past them. Now, we said it earlier. As a finisher, he's still as good as anybody. But he don't have the juice in his legs anymore. So if you're saying to me, are you taking Ronaldo or Bale? I'm taking Bale.
And
you agree?
Yeah, I agree, especially if somebody comes in from who knows where and makes a ridiculous offer for Cristiano Ronaldo. And now you're Real Madrid and you're thinking, okay, if I can cash in on Cristiano and now I can turn this around and reinvest it in other places, now we are reloading for the future. But that's a decision that is not made just in numbers in Real Madrid. It's about feelings. And when it comes about feelings in Real Madrid, it's difficult because it's not so much about what the logical decision is and what the right decision is which one is going to keep the fans happy. And that's a slippery slope.
We said how clever Ronaldo is. And unfortunately, as a player, you're usually the last person to realise when your legs are going or gone. Because you always think, oh, tomorrow I'm going to be okay. Or I'll just work a little harder and I'll be back to normal. If he is that smart, he goes now. He actually says, you know what? What better way is there for me to finish playing than winning 3 Champions Leagues on the trot? If I'm him, I think that's what I do. Go to Japan, do an Iniesta. Go to China and get your millions. But finish on a high and don't finish with people saying your legs have gone.
I know, but how difficult is it to let go when you score 44 goals in 44 matches? And I mean, that's the other reality of Cristiano Ronaldo.
There's going out on top in terms of the team and as an individual, pretty good as well. 44 games, 44 goals.
Wow. This is Gareth Bale, who says nothing normally, Robert. He's vanilla. He says absolutely bland stuff in interviews, but obviously he's clearly had enough.
Yes, because I think after the last 3 weeks, he thought he was going to play. We didn't think he was going to play, but many people thought that Zidane had played him in the last game. He's started to find some form. But when you look at the season as a whole, there's been many games where he's almost been the third choice to come on. We've seen Asensio come on. We've seen Vasquez come on before him. So Under Zidane, it looks as though he was a bit part player, but what a goal and what a performance he put on when he did come on.
Does this change things, this performance?
I don't think it changes the view of Zidane about him. I don't think Zidane thinks he's the player to take Real Madrid forward, and win another Champions League. But Gareth Bale's got to be playing football, and this may just give him the confidence. It may get the fans on his side as well, because he needs that. He's a confidence player, but if he hasn't got the backing of the manager, that's going to be a major problem for him.
So say Zidane stays.
Yes.
Big offer comes in from Manchester United. You're Gareth Bale. Do you leave?
I would leave if I was Gareth Bale. I think he needs a fresh start. I think his time at Real Madrid is up. He's parting, if he does part, with 2 massive goals for them. He's won the Champions League for them. Now's the time to go to Manchester United.
Right then, Robbo. Real Madrid have won it 3 in a row. No team's ever done that before in the Champions League. They could be the best ever, haven't they?
Yeah, they could be the greatest team that in the Champions League, the greatest team that have conquered Europe. They've been, the top side in Europe for the last 3 years. It's not been a good La Liga season for them, and they weren't at their best tonight. But they still had enough about them. They still had that quality. I thought Modric was magnificent. He played around the pressure that Liverpool were trying to put them under. I thought Ramos was excellent. We talked about him letting Marcelo go forward. He had to deal with Salah to start with, and then when it was Mane on his side, he dealt with that really well. So they've got some great players. We haven't even talked about Ronaldo, who started on the left wing, which was a surprise. But he still played his part.
However, naysayers will say, OK, yeah, fine, you've done it in the Champions League, but you've only won your domestic league twice in the last 9 years. So does that take some away from it?
A little bit. It also says where the manager's thoughts are and where the players' thoughts are and where the club's thoughts are. They would prefer to win the Champions League than they would La Liga. So a lot of effort has gone this season into winning the Champions League. But they've struggled in certain games. We saw them struggle at home against Juventus, when they were really struggling. We saw them struggle at home against Bayern Munich. They haven't been perfect this season by any means, and they weren't perfect tonight.
Is it harder to win the Champions League or La Liga? Considering, look at Real Madrid's run. Juventus, Bayern Munich, PSG.
Yeah. I think it's harder to win the Champions League than it is La Liga. There's probably 3 or 4 teams that can win La Liga. Barcelona, obviously, a very good side, but I think it's easier to win La Liga than it is the Champions League.
We've of course been in. Well, how many nights have you been in? 5 or 6 nights? It's been a while. We've
5 or 6 nights.
Time together.
That's a bit of a worry, I've got to say.
What did you make first off of the city? What did you make of Kiev?
Pleasantly surprised. I wasn't quite sure what to expect.
It's interesting.
We saw some nice architecture. We had nice weather. Nice
architecture.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah, it looks. It's a sun. We had the lot, really, didn't we?
Well, it kind of had a bit of a bad rap, didn't it? We come in here, you kind of got low expectations. But the food, the people,
great stadium as well.
No, everyone's been really lovely. What's been your highlight, Romo?
I've got to say, I enjoyed the dancing. I've never danced in my life before. I've always been propping up the bar, never on the dance floor. But I quite enjoyed it, and I think I was slightly. You were
really bad at it, though. You were terrible.
I was going to say slightly better than you.
Definitely not, Robbie. You were so out of tune, out of sync.
I tried harder than you. That's what I would say.
It's been a great time. A lot of fun here in Kiev. It's been
good.
Fantastic. We'll be heading back to Bristol. Well, I'll be heading back to Bristol in a couple of days. Robbo, you'll be over for the World Cup?
I will be, yes.
Well,
I'm looking forward to that, yeah.
But for now, back to you in the studio.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you for that Commerce Bureau video. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you want that Chamber of Commerce to... are you kidding me? It's like, well, it was nice. We got a couple good places to eat.
Dan better not get the sack for here.
No?
Because he ain't getting a job with the Kiev tourist board.
No, he's not.
I'll tell you that right now.
Well,
okay, if I make the statement, this Real Madrid team is the best of all time, how can it be countered? Can it be?
No, it is impossible, and always has been, and always will be impossible to try and look at teams from different eras who've done similar things. The Bayern Munich, see, I grew up with the Bayern Munich side. I mean, the likes of France. For me, half of that team would walk in, at least, to this Real Madrid team. But then I'm looking at it from a completely different perspective. So, are they the best ever? I'm going to say no, they're not.
Who is?
But I'm still going to struggle to tell you who the best ever is. It's an impossibility to try and judge teams from different eras. It really is.
When you think back of the Barcelona team that danced around Manchester United in a Champions League final, that humiliated a very good Manchester United team in the way that they did, that team was unique. Because that way of Barcelona playing changed the way that people played around the world. It was an impactful style and an impactful level of talent that came to fruition and at the very best, in the highest stage. that sort of impact, I don't think this team has had. However, you cannot argue 3 titles in a row, something that nobody's ever done before. So from that perspective, you would think, well, yeah, I mean, it may be ugly at times. It may not be convincing. They may not play well, but they win. And in the end, this is about winning.
I actually forgot how old I am.
No.
And the reason, and just to back up what I said about teams from different eras.
Right.
I remember the Ajax team.
Okay.
And they played in an era where if you moved, you got kicked. But they still played open attacking football the way teams play today. So how can you compare a team that could do that then to this Real Madrid team? It's impossible.
All right, welcome into a very special Champions League final edition of FC Extra Time. Alejandro Moreno, Stevie Nicol, Sebastian Salazar with you. You okay?
What are you looking at me like?
You just seem kind of like you're ready to pop or something.
Yeah, he recognizes tension when he sees it.
I tell you what,
I live kind of in that state right there. Okay, Franco wants to know, winning 3 Champions League straight is not easy. Is Zidane now among the best managers of all time? Stevie, you're a former manager. What do you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think... You know, this doesn't happen if you don't know your onions. I'm sure you know that saying.
I actually don't know. I don't know my onions, so that's why I'm not a manager.
It's a thing we have at home. If you know your onions, you're all right.
Okay.
You know, we've spoken about Zidane over the last couple of seasons, and on occasions we've criticised his tactics, we've criticised his team choice. I mean, I've criticised his team choice. I don't understand how Benzema starts in this team. But you know what? You can't argue because the proof's in the pudding. There's another one for you. The proof's in the pudding, they get the results. And at the end of the day, it's all there for you.
Hey. It's a must to know your onions. Didn't you know that?
I'm clearly...
It's a must.
I'm
It's a must.
not in Champions League final form just yet. Alan wants to know, whose bike was better, Ronaldo's or Bale's?
Whose bike?
Who's,
I used to have one of the 3-wheeled bikes, one of them. Like the tricycle
Yeah?
thing. Aye.
You're not a big fan of the overhead kick, are you?
I'd have to say I am not, but I would also say that both Ronaldo's and Bale's, you know, I always throw in that it's a bit of a gamble, right? But those two are not gambles because they know what they're doing, and they've got the physicality and the timing to put all that stuff together, to know exactly where they want to put it. So when they join all those things up, that's not a gamble for them. That's quality. That's why they're star players. That's why they get 300 grand a week.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, those 2 goals, both of them knew exactly what they were doing, and they executed.
So they're perfectly even, neither is better.
So if
I
both...
think it's very hard to... It's very... Because both of them are from nothing. They've made something out of just balls that were thrown in, not particularly well.
I would say that if both of them were perfectly executed, then the tiebreaker would be the moment. And the fact that Gareth Bale is doing this not only in the final, the game winner, and it's his first touch on the ball. It's not like he's getting into a rhythm of the game. No, this is his first action in the game, and to do that, special.
Yeah, literally 2 minutes after he'd come on. Another Bale-Ronaldo question. Who's more likely to stay at Real Madrid? The fan is asking, Bale or Ronaldo? Stevie? More likely to stay.
More likely to stay?
Yeah.
You okay?
I've seen a lot of that today from Liverpool.
I think you got to say Ronaldo, because at the end of the day, he'll decide whether he stays or goes. I don't think Bale's got the choice.
Ale?
If we were to make this decision objectively, the likeliest would be to stay would be Bale, because that would be the right decision. However, these decisions are subjective, and Real Madrid is going to be full of emotion, and it is very difficult to let Cristiano Ronaldo walk out the door if you're in any way a decision maker at Real Madrid.
The problem is, most Real Madrid fans would say Ronaldo staying is a must.
It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
yes, he's 33, but the numbers are still there.
Listen, the guy can finish, and the numbers are there. But the truth is, he's lost a couple of steps of his leg.
The question is likelier to stay. I mean, we heard from Bale in the post-match interview, right? He almost kind of said, hey, come and get me, right?
Well, but that message is not only for teams outside of Madrid. It's also a message for Real Madrid. Right. So it's not saying I'm leaving. It's if I'm going to stay, I have to play. So I think you can take that message and say, well, he wants to go to the Premier League now, if you feel that way. But he's also saying to Real Madrid, maybe I want to stay here, but you got to take care of me.
Harry has a question that we did get into on the show. What now for Loris Karius? Surely he can't play for Liverpool again. I think on the show you said there was a way he could.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far and say he won't play for Liverpool again. I think Liverpool, no question, will go out and buy a number 1, and he will be number 2, and somewhere down the line, he will get a game. So I think, yes, he will play, but if this guy resurrects his career, whether it's at Liverpool or anywhere else after this, it will tell you that he's made of stern stuff, because I don't remember anybody ever taking such big body blows to their career than what happened to this guy in this game.
I can only imagine, and Stevie would know better than me in this, but walking the streets of Liverpool for Loris Karius,
you know,
I'm not saying that the fans would get on him, but his feeling, him feeling like he's letting people down everywhere he goes, that cannot be easy. And so, and that, if that lingers, at some point you're better off just having a fresh start somewhere else.
The character of Liverpool supporters and Liverpudlians will be to try and rally around this guy.
Yeah.
So if he's walking down the street, they'll shout at him and go, hey, come on, hey, get your head out, you know, blah, blah, blah. The problem is,
it's a reminder.
When the whistle goes, the first time he's between the pipes, everybody's going to go straight to that game, and then there's going to be a strange atmosphere. There's going to be a strange feeling in there, and he's going to feel it, and that's when we'll find out what this kid's made of.
You know, sometimes people on Twitter, like, they're not super patient. This guy wants to know, Klopp still hasn't won anything for Liverpool. How much time does he get?
I'm not even going to answer that. I mean, it's just a daft question.
But we can point out, it's a daft question. It's absurd. They made the Champions League final.
The worst thing that Liverpool could do tomorrow is get rid of Jurgen Klopp. Put it that way.
I think he's created a foundation and built a structure in this club that now sets them up for the future, to where they can build from here and take steps forward. I don't think you go elsewhere and try to restart something. If you're Jurgen Klopp and you're Liverpool, I think this is a marriage that's working. Let me tell you, you ride that as long as you can.
Would you trade Klopp for Zidane?
No.
Even with the rosters?
And
given the current roster?
Listen, everybody throws out that Klopp has lost 4 finals, but he's lost 4 finals where he's been the underdog. That's a different ballgame than having, you know, Zidane. As difficult as it is, don't get me wrong, when you take over a team like Real Madrid with the star names, it takes a special type of person that not only knows his onions, but who can actually handle these players.
There's a lot of onions.
I'll tell you what, that's a lot of tears. A lot of tears.
I mean, I get the point of this question is obviously this guy's jumping the gun, right? But at
some point, serious again. He's all serious.
He wants to break it down. He wants to break it down.
Hey, right? You want to go home tonight? You want to sit here?
Right. Let's save it. Hey, you know what?
We just got
show tomorrow, so let's save it for tomorrow. We just thrown away a Champions
League final, and you want to keep me here? I need to go home.
No, I don't want to keep you here, Steve.
I need to get myself home and
I gotta
what do you do? What do you
recuperate.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Steve.
I'll do what Carrie's will do. Go under the bed with a cup of tea and hide.
I imagine your tea would have something else in it.
I think there's a fair chance of that.
I gotta say, you've been excellent today.
Hey, hold on. Hey,
Huh?
Can we go on? Come on.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, but what's the next question?
There are no more questions.
Right, see ya.
There are no more questions, so we can all go home now. The show will be on Sunday and every day. ESPN FC, ESPN Plus. We promise not to rush through extra time next time.
Oh, wow. So bitter.